karena kacang merah itu jauh lebih mengenyangkan kepada saya. Right? Dan sudah terus terang, itu kacang merah ada hubungannya dengan makanan dari Daniel, Sadrak, Mesak, dan Abednego, karena itu pulse. Jadi basically is the same thing. Ya. Dan Daniel dan Sadrak, Mesak, dan Abednego itu diuji antara makan kacang-kacangan atau daging. Dan kita tahu di Alkitab langsung dibilang bahwa yang mengotorkan badan kita itu adalah what defiles him that he did not want to do is to eat the king's meat. Right? Nah, itu sudah jelas. Oke. Tapi sekarang kita lihat itu ada hubungannya dengan diabetes, lalu kita lihat ada hubungannya dengan penyakit jantung, penyakit stroke, penyakit yang sudah dasarnya adalah radang. Semua radang itu adalah dasar dari penyakit-penyakit yang harus dialami oleh orang-orang yang berpenyakit Mesir, right? Yaitu penyakit dunia, right? Oke. Jadi yang sekarang saya mau kasih adalah tentang salt of the earth. Nah, kalau kita berbicara tentang garam dunia, jadi kita pasti berbicara tentang apa ini? Tentang apa? Salah satu penyakit dunia apa? Darah tinggi, ya, sudah pasti. Darah tinggi ini sangat prevalent, banyak sekali yang darah tinggi, alright? Banyak sekali darah tinggi. Tapi kita harus mulai selalu dengan Alkitab. Right? We always start with the Bible. Karena darah itu garam itu kita pelajari, ya, dari Matius 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. If the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden underfoot of man. Right? Itu salt is good. Right? Yeah, you need to be seasoned with salt. Your sacrifice need to be seasoned with salt. Salt is actually good. But the problem is bagus itu sebenarnya, right? Tetapi kalau tidak ada rasanya, sudah tidak ada artinya. Oke, kita di sini semua dari kecil sudah dengar khotbah tentang garam dunia. Garam dunia yang sudah tidak ada asinnya adalah apa? Garam yang sudah tidak asin itu melambangkan apa? Oke. Nah, kita yang sudah belajar dari kecil nih ya, dengar khotbah. Apa? Masih ingat enggak? Bahwa kalau garam dunia yang sudah tidak tidak asin, artinya apa? Ya? Pengetahuan, ya, ada hubungannya sih dengan pengetahuan. Ya. Oke, kalau gitu paling gampang kita pergi ketika kita punya cheat sheet. My cheat sheet is actually Spirit of Prophecy. Spirit of Prophecy bilang apa? Kita mau baca-baca, aduh kadang-kadang agak susah mau dapatnya. Bisa juga kita proof text, sampai akhirnya dapat. Artinya garam dunia yang tidak ada asinnya. Right? Tapi kalau kita lihat di Nyonya White bilang apa? Garam itu adalah the righteousness of Christ. Right? Kalau kita mau sedia untuk Tuhan Yesus datang, kita sudah harus punya righteousness of Christ. Itu garam. Lalu kita bilang, oke, saya ini orang Kristen. I'm a Christian. I'm a professed Christian. But I do not have the righteousness of Christ in me. Means I am salt that has no savor. Saya tidak asin lagi garamnya. Tidak ada gunanya. Right? Jadi waktu di Matius 22, ya, waktu ada raja yang dia bilang, oke, saya ada pesta, anak saya sudah mau kawin, siapa yang mau datang harus bawa jubah putih. Bapak bilang apa? Siapa yang ada jubah putih? Siapa yang ada righteousness of Christ? Itu boleh masuk. Kalau tidak ada, dibuang keluar. Di mana kegelapan dan semua gigi menggerutu di sana, dikutuk. Right? It is salt without savor. Wah, penting sekali ini kita. Sama seperti lagu tadi. Kalau kita punya garam tidak asin, ya, kita tidak sedia untuk. Ya, waktu Bapak lihat kepada kita, tidak ada jubah putih, betul? Aduh, hebat sekali. Oke, garam ini penting sekali. Ya, hebatnya waktu mereka lihat orang-orang zaman dulu, ya, makan garamnya sangat sedikit dibandingkan orang-orang zaman sekarang. Very low salt, right? Ya, mungkin 10 sampai 20 kali lebih rendah mereka punya makan salt daripada kita zaman sekarang, right? Ya, oke. Jadi mereka pertama lihat, ini dari sejak orang Cina di 2600 tahun sebelum Masehi, mereka sudah bilang bahwa kalau denyutannya keras, wah, denyutannya keras itu pulse-nya udah keras, itu darahnya sudah naik. Dan ini udah berbahaya. Dan jadi ada orang yang bilang, bagaimana kita mau cek ya kita punya darah ini, berapa pressure-nya? Ya, jadi namanya adalah James Hales. Dia pakai kuda itu, dia taruh kateter, terus dia kasih naik gitu, denyutannya bisa naik. Lalu dilihat ya berapa sentimeter water. Dari situ pertama kita kali dapat itu apa untuk tekanan darah, cek darah tinggi. Ya, lalu orang-orang tidak terlalu hiraukan. Tapi akhirnya sampai Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Presiden Amerika, dia mati oleh karena blood pressure yang tidak terkendalikan. Dia waktu di Yalta, dia bikin dia setelah Perang Dunia Kedua, dia punya darah itu kalau nggak salah 250 atau 150 begitu atau ya, sangat tinggi. Ya, orang dokter tidak tahu caranya mau kasih obat kepada dia. Ya, zaman dulu itu, tidak ada. Jadi mereka punya obat-obat zaman dulu, wah, ini hebat sekali nih. Ini racun-racun semua nih, sodium thiocyanate. Kalau mereka mau pakai dulu, sampai akhirnya chlorothiazide tahun 1958. Ini obat darah tinggi. Bayangin, baru tahun 58 baru diketemukan. Sebelumnya mereka pakai apa? Sodium thiocyanate. Ini racun itu sodium thiocyanate. Cyanide. Oh, cyanide itu. Wah, hebat sekali. Baru tahun 58 baru ditemukan obat untuk darah tinggi. Alright, sekarang dilihat gimana resiko di dunia ini bahwa orang itu akan debilitated. Kalian punya klien-klien banyak yang debilitated, right? Ya, orang-orang yang sudah debilitated, risiko debilitation, right? Disability. Risiko yang paling tinggi sebenarnya dari dietary risk factors dan physical inactivity, tidak cukup olahraga. Tapi ya dari dietary risk factor yang sangat tinggi adalah nomor 1, kekurangan buah-buahan. Dan yang kedua adalah kebanyakan sodium. Ya, kebanyakan sodium. Ya, high blood pressure is the leading single risk factor globally. Resiko untuk debilitation. Kita kalau kita lihat-lihat, apa kita mau 20-30 tahun just sitting in a wheelchair at the end of your life? Mau kita hidup begitu? Oh, siapa yang mau? Oh, that's terrible. And the single most high risk factor yang paling tinggi resikonya adalah darah tinggi. Right? We need to control this. Oke, apakah semua orang akan pasti kena darah tinggi kalau semakin tua? Istilahnya seperti kalau kita dapat rambut putih, itu sudah pasti harus terjadi. Apakah darah tinggi itu harus terjadi? Is it a natural cause? Is it natural for you to have high blood pressure when you get older? Apa natural? Bagaimana kita bisa buktikan bahwa natural itu, kalau kita sudah tua, ya oke lah darah saya naik. Is it natural? You're actually, betul. It's not natural, oke? Gimana kita bisa lihat? Mereka lihat, ini tahun berapa nih? Tahun 1937 mereka ke rural China, alright? Orang di rural China itu nggak ada TV, jadi jalan selalu, nggak ada mobil, nggak ada internet, nggak ada cuman duduk-duduk, lihat-lihat telepon. Wah, itu bahaya sekali. Ya. Mereka exercise all the time, tinggal di gunung-gunung dan high carbohydrate diet. Right? Lihat umur-umur, look at their blood pressure. Waktu umur 30-an is 108/69. When in the 30s, it's like 106/72. Look at how old, waktu umur 66, 106/70, 116/72. They do not have high blood pressure. Bagaimana di Afrika? Di Afrika, right? Mereka kalau di sana itu hanya sedikit sekali makan dagingnya. Hanya kalau ada pesta besar. Selain itu high carbohydrate diet, tidak ada, very active. Ya, semua aktif karena tidak ada mobil, dan tinggalnya di gunung-gunung, makan makanan yang simple diet, right? Blood pressure-nya waktu umur 15-an tahun, in their teenager years, they were 123/82. When they were 60 and above, it's even lower. 105/67. This is what your blood pressure should be. It never goes up. Aduh. Jadi kalau kita bilang, kita kan so tua, jadi so pasti kita darah tinggi. Ini faktanya, it's your lifestyle that cause your blood pressure to go up, even in your old days. Ya. Dan salah satunya adalah, resikonya adalah garam ya, garam. Oke, ini garam ya. Jadi mereka sekarang bilang, we need to have a trial, alright, randomized trial. Di mana orangnya nggak tahu mereka makan apa, right? Let's say, let's choose some people. Kamu ini sekarang dikasih, alright, let's give you low sodium diet, right? So when you go with low sodium diet, langsung systolic dan diastolic turun. Lalu sekarang dikasih naik. They give some sodium, sedikit sodium, blood pressure-nya, ini sekarang dikasih placebo. Waktu dikasih placebo, meaning dikasih cuman tepung aja, ya. Istilahnya blood pressure-nya tidak naik, Tapi begitu dikasih sedikit sodium, naik. Ya. Langsung dikasih ini, naik. Jadi sekarang sini sudah dibuktikan, memang itu kalau sodium itu membuat darahnya blood pressure naik. Alright, sodium restriction, sodium restriction causes your blood pressure to go down. Alright, alright. Jadi mereka lihat bagaimana dengan kalau orang makan, lalu mereka tambah makanannya dengan garam. Jadi ada yang banyak yang kalau sudah dikasih makanan tidak tambah garam. Tapi banyak orang yang suka tambah garam. Ya. Suka tambah garam. Waktu dibuktikan, itu blood pressure naik. Ini sudah dibuktikan. Jadi ini fakta yang kadang-kadang suka dibantah. Tetapi buktinya sudah dibuktikan by randomized trial. Semuanya sudah dibuktikan bahwa sodium itu membuat blood pressure-nya naik. Right? Dari sini ditanya, kira-kira, do you know how much sodium you're taking? Apa kira-kira you tahu berapa banyak sodium? Do you know how much sodium you're taking? Do you think you're taking enough sodium, okay sodium, or too much sodium? 97% of Americans underestimate or don't even know how much sodium they're actually taking. 97%. They underestimate. Only 3% actually know how much sodium they're taking. And they get to, if you want to do something about your sodium level, you have to know whether you ate, how much you're taking, right? Okay. Why is this so important? Kenapa ini penting? Ada satu, there's a group that does not want you to know how much sodium you're taking. All right? And they say, mereka bilang kalau orang itu menurunkan mereka punya berapa banyak sodium mereka ambil, kita bisa rugi. Jadi, kalau mereka datang ke restoran, kita kasih mereka makanan yang asin. Ya? Kita kasih makanan yang asin. Kenapa? Karena setelah mereka makan yang asin, apa yang terjadi? Mereka harus minum. Dan waktu mereka minum, minuman itu has a very high profit margin. Right? The drinks itu yang bikin menguntungkan restoran-restoran. Right? It's not the food, it's the drinks. They make money by selling you drinks. And to make you drink more, they give you high salt food. All right? Pretty amazing. Right? The food industry is fighting to keep the salt level high. Why? Because salt is a preservative. Yeah, it preserves food. Right? And it is expensive or cheap? It is cheap. Right? Sangat murah. Jadi mereka bilang kalau the government says you have to change your preservatives. What happens to their profit margin? Goes down. Goes down. The food industry wants to keep the sodium level high in the American diet. Right? That is a proven fact. Right? It's all profit driven. It's profit driven. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. It's about making money. All right? This is terrible. All right. So what did they used to do? Jadi mereka itu zaman-zaman dulu mereka kasih apa ya? Orang-orang yang sudah darah tinggi, ya, mereka kasih apa ya zaman dulu ya? Nah, waktu sebelum ini obat-obatan hydrochlorothiazide ditemukan tahun 1958, ya, ada dokter dari Jerman, dia lari dari Jerman, after the Second World War. Lalu dia bilang ini banyak sekali blood pressure problem. Dan orang-orang yang sudah kena blood pressure itu akhirnya ginjalnya rusak. Ya, jantungnya rusak, matanya rusak, sudah mulai buta. Dan mereka mau kasih apa? Jadi bilang, there's a problem, too much sodium. Lalu dia bilang juga apa? Too much fat. Too much fat. Alright? And then he says, kalau gitu saya harus kasih makanan-makanan yang rendah dalam fat dan rendah dalam sodium. Alright? Karena ini akan efek ke mata, ke jantung, ya, ke otak, stroke, ya, dan ginjal, semuanya itu ya, kita sudah tahu. Jadi dia bilang saya perlu bikin diet. Lalu ini namanya Walter Kempner, right? Dia bikinnya apa? Dia bikin makanan, ya, dia rancang satu makanan, ya, it's very high in carbohydrate, right? Sengaja dia bikin rice diet, tinggi dalam carbohydrate, but very low in protein. Kenapa? Karena protein itu sesuatu yang membuat kita punya ginjal harus bekerja keras, right? Untuk filter itu protein, right? Kalau kita banyak protein dalam diet kita, the kidneys have to work hard, right? Dia bilang, proteinnya harus rendah. Dan orang bilang, low protein and low fat, but high carbohydrate diet, right? Lalu dia punya diet, harus makan buah-buahan, karena buah-buahan itu tinggi dalam potasium, rendah dalam sodium, right? Itu penting. Jadi dia tahu, dia dokter, dia scientist, dia tahu ini caranya, right? Oke. Jadi dia bilang oke, kalau hanya gula is okay, ya. Tetapi sedang kacang-kacangan bagi orang yang sudah kena ginjal itu bahaya karena ada fatnya, it's high in fat, right? Oke. Ini sesuatu ya very restrictive. Banyak orang yang tidak bisa mengikutinya, right? Tetapi dibuktikan, right? Lalu dia buktikan blood pressure-nya turun tanpa obat, hanya pakai very high carbohydrate diet. Can you imagine that? Carbohydrate diet, kok mirip ya? You know, if you want to reverse heart disease, you want to reverse diabetes, you use high carbohydrate diet. Tapi yang pentingnya apa? It's all non-processed, right? Because the processed, it actually is, very bad. Okay, alright. Sekarang kita mau lihat sodium itu bagusnya berapa? Alright. Sodium, the recommended daily sekarang menurut the government says how much sodium should you actually take? Alright. Dulu secara pukul rata orang Amerika makannya 3.500 mg. Dulu dia punya recommended daily is 2,300. Terus mereka bilang, ini terlalu tinggi nih. This is very bad. Right? Jadi sekarang dia punya daily allowance-nya adalah 1.500. Ya. 1.500. Oke, we want to go to 1.500. Tetapi mereka sekarang sudah buktikan, how much sodium do you actually need? Berapa banyak sodium yang sebenarnya kamu perlukan untuk hidup supaya jangan mati? Only 500. Jadi mereka bilang sedangkan 1.500 itu masih tinggi. Kita harus turunkan. Jadi mereka bilang oke, kita mau bikin ketentuan ya, Food and Drug Administration, mari kita turunkan yang darinya 1.500, kita turunkan ya. Kita mau turunkan. Tapi siapa yang melawan kepada mereka? Industry. Industry does not want that lowered. Kalau enggak mereka rugi. Ya. Yeah. So who's watching for you? You have to watch for yourself. Yeah, because the industry is not watching for you. Yeah, you have to watch for yourself. Jadi kita harus tahu, kita harus baca. Oke, kita harus baca. Kalau kita makan, ya, kita mau makan, oke, kita harus baca. Alright? Oke. Saya mau kasih lihat ya. We have to learn how to use this. Alright? Yang bagusnya sebaiknya itu sodiumnya lebih rendah dari berapa banyak kalorinya. Jadi kalau sodiumnya berapa ini? Kalorinya berapa? Oke, sodiumnya lebih rendah dari banyak kalorinya. That's an easy way. Ya caranya supaya kita mau baca. Wah ini sodiumnya bahaya nih tinggi. Right? How much sodium? Ya, compared to how many calories is in that nutrition facts. Alright? Oke, itu caranya. Dan kalau lihat, is it sodium free? Sodium free is less than 5 mg. Very low sodium, less than 35. Kalau dibilang low sodium itu less than 140. Right? Ya. Oke. Jadi ini sesuatu yang mereka selalu pakai. Oke, this is low sodium. Ini artinya apa ini? Kadang-kadang kita bingung. Right? Tapi ingat, 1.500 pun masih kebanyakan. Karena kita hanya perlu sebenarnya 500 kira-kira. Alright? Ya. Oke, jadi it's 500 milligrams. 500 miligram itu seberapa banyak itu sodiumnya? 1/4 teaspoon in the whole day. That's all you need actually. Makanya seluruh dunia kena darah tinggi. Oke. Alright. Ini saya langsung ambil dari American Heart Association. Keep in mind that more than 70% of the sodium Americans eat come from the packaged, prepared, and restaurant foods, not from the salt shaker. hati-hati ya kalau kita keluar makan is the processed food that is actually being served to you. The best food is the one that your wife cooks for you at home. All right? That's the best food. Karena yang di luar itu semua, it's processed. And the industry wants to make it salty so that you will drink more and make them profit. All right? They don't want the sodium levels to be low. All right? Okay. Jadi kalau kita tuna, okay. Ini dalam tuna, kira-kira berapa ya? Oke, sebagai reference. Alright, tuna itu, dia bilang, oh, this is tuna is good. Okay, let's look at how many calories? 50. Sodiumnya berapa? Oh, that's not good. Because 180 is higher than 50. Alright, so okay, that's not good. Alright, nah ini. Bagaimana dengan Doritos? Oh, this is terrible. Doritos is the number one snack in the world for a reason. They actually, mereka itu punya scientist. The most brilliant scientists work for this company. They design it, the perfect amount of sodium plus the perfect amount of fat and the perfect amount of sugar. Perfect. The trifecta. To make you addicted. Can you eat just one Doritos? Impossible. Impossible. Because it's scientifically designed to make you addicted. And one of the reasons is the amount of sodium, right? Plus the fat, plus the sugar. Okay, 140 and 210, still higher. Okay. I know you don't eat much sugar. I mean Doritos, but you eat this. You eat this? You in the back, you guys eat like this? You like this stuff? What do you think? 5 and 80. 80 masih low, but still 5 and 80. Okay? Ketchup ABC. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough, man. Kita gimana mau masak masakan Indonesia nggak pakai ABC? $70 and $3.50. You know, harus lihat ya, 70 ya, dengan 350. Bagaimana dengan ini? I know you got in the back, you guys eat this a lot, right? No, you don't? No? $2.90 and $11.90. This is, wow, this is terrible. Okay, now there's some that are actually quite interesting here because they said, oh, this should be okay. What about a bagel? You know, as long as I eat it without cream cheese, it should be okay, right? Is it okay? What about a bagel? It's vegan, I'm telling you, it's vegan. $2.20 and $4.30. Okay, all right. I know tonight a bunch of you are going to have this stuff. Oh, veggie pizza. Okay. What about veggie pizza? All right. What about cheese pizza? How much sodium in cheese pizza? 300 to 700. Remember, your body only needs 500. Now, how many slices of pizza do you can eat one slice? No, but say, how many slices? Huh? Oh, it's already 21. There's no way you're going to eat one slice, right? What about pepperoni? Now, you don't eat pepperoni, okay? Sausage pizza, 600 to 1,000. They said, okay, I'm going to eat vegetarian pizza. You know, I'm going to eat vegetarian pizza, okay? All right? It's going to be okay. Same thing. Same thing. All right? 400 to, 400. Oh, ini ada tulisan 400 sampai 800. 400 to 800. This is a vegetarian pizza. Okay, all right. Now, well, see, 33 and 34, so it's actually lower, all right? 49 and 1.5, wow, that's really low sodium. Now, what about this? Unsalted nuts. Unsalted nuts. What do you think? This is a tricky one. It's actually okay. Unsalted nuts. Okay, all right, this is fun, all right? Okay, well, you know, how do you check your blood pressure? You have to check your systolic and diastolic, all right? Yes. I know there's a bunch of nurses here, all right? So, systolic and diastolic. Diastolic is basically the resting pressure of your blood vessels, all right? It's the resting pressure of your blood vessels. When the heart pumps, when it pumps, that's your systolic, right? The systolic and the diastolic. The resting is the diastolic. The pump, all right? So think of it as the, pumping. When you're pushing, that's the systolic. When you let go, that's the diastolic, all right? So that's the systolic, and then that's the diastolic, all right? All right, okay. So, in your blood vessels, if there's too much of that pressure, eventually it causes damage, right, to your blood vessels. And then with sodium actually will cause, well, we'll go into that. It causes inflammation, all right? It causes inflammation in your blood vessels. So what do you usually do when your blood pressure your systolic is too high? Let's see, right? It affects your kidneys, all right? It affects your kidneys, it affects your blood vessels. So what do doctors do? What do we do? What do nurses actually give you? All right. You have to give you hydrochlorothiazide. It makes your, for your kidneys, okay? It's for your kidneys. What about for your blood pressure, to get your resting blood pressure, so your diastolic better? Amlodipine, very famous, very cheap. So many people is on amlodipine. What about to reduce the pump pressure? Beta blockers, right? Yeah, beta blockers. It's pills. But God said, remember in the Bible? God said, you don't have to get these diseases. You don't have to take all these medicines, because I'm teaching you how you can prevent it and how you can cure it, treat it, right? So you want to look at your blood vessels. How can you check to see, the health of your blood vessels physically? You look in the back of their eyes, actually. When you look at the back of their eyes, that's what you see. This is what you're actually seeing, right? Swelling. Already, like blood vessels starting to burst. So when you go to the eye doctor, they already look at that and go, this is, they're going to see your problems already there, right? Your blood vessels are starting to show. It's starting to burst, starting to leak, all right? Okay. So, ini kayaknya agak susah saya mau bahasa Indonesia terus. Nggak, keterusan langsung bahasa Indonesia, keterusan bahasa Inggris. It's okay? It's okay, campur-campur aja ya. Yeah, for the youth. The youth, you understand me? It's okay? Okay, it's okay? Alright. Oke. Sebelum blood pressure naik, dia punya peredaran darah di pembuluh-pembuluh darah yang kecil sudah harus affected. Dan itu affectednya oleh karena makanan, right? Dan makanannya itu is impaired by high salt meal. One meal, okay? One meal. Hanya satu kali makan high salt diet. Okay, this is with low sodium diet. Dia punya the function of the blood vessel, right? Before even the blood pressure goes up, the function already goes down a little bit. But if you eat a high sodium diet, it goes down even more. Sebelum blood pressure-nya mulai, just one meal dalam 10 menit, hanya makan satu pizza dalam 10 menit sudah pembuluhannya, peredarannya sudah berkurang di seluruh badan. Alright? Hanya satu meal saja. Alright? Before your blood pressure goes up. See, it goes down already even before your blood pressure goes up. Right? Yeah. So this actually is affected very early. Alright? The salt diet causes it very early. Sebelum blood pressure naik, sudah mulai rusak dia punya pembuluh darah. Right? Okay. Alright. Sebelum, alright. And then, fat. One McDonald's meal. One McDonald's meal. Alright? One McDonald's meal. One high-fat diet. Alright? Dibandingkan dengan one low-fat diet. One low-fat diet. Okay, low-fat diet is frosted flakes. We can actually do better than that, but it's okay. This is still low fat, right? Low sodium. Okay, low fat. Dibandingkan dengan McDonald's meal with Sprite. All right. Okay, this is what happens to your blood vessels when you eat McDonald's versus you eat cereal. All right. They check to see. This is not your blood pressure. They check to see what your vessels are actually doing. Within just minutes, within a few minutes, right? This is with frosted flakes. Your flow is still fine. Within 1 hour, within less than 1 hour, with one McDonald's meal, your circulation already started to go down, right? You already start having effect with your circulation within actually less than an hour. And it lasts for 6 hours. And then it's another time for another McDonald's. All right? Oh, in and out. Oh boy. Your blood vessels are going to be in big trouble all the time. Right? Okay. So, what actually causes the endothelium, right, the blood vessels, to start becoming affected and causing your flow to be reduced? What is it? There has to be something. It's not specifically the blood pressure. Must be some sort of chemical that starts working really fast, right? Mereka bilang ini apa ya? Okay. There has to be something in that, and diketemukan tahun 1992. In 1992, they actually figured this out. There's a chemical, which is a gas called nitric oxide, right? Nitric oxide ini, it actually causes your blood vessels to relax. Get your blood vessels to let the flow be good, right? Nitric oxide is very important. It keeps your blood vessels healthy. The cells to be healthy, smooth, and blood flow to be smooth. You need nitric oxide. It's nitric oxide, okay? And the person that invented this, figured this out, was Dr. Robert Fergat. Louis Ignaro, and they won the Nobel Prize. They won the Nobel Prize. This was so important that they won the Nobel Prize for this. Nitric oxide, right? Okay. So, where do you get nitric oxide? Well, it's actually not difficult. You actually get from the air, right? Okay, when you breathe air, how much of it is actually oxygen? Oh, there you go. Wow, very good. How much is nitrogen? Yeah, about 70, right? A lot more nitrogen. You're breathing, I get a lot of nitrogen in me, okay? Tapi nitrogen is actually captured into the soil, right? It's captured into the soil, and you get these nitrogen capturing roots with the bacteria and puts it into the plants, and it becomes nitrate, right? So the plants take up the nitrogen in the air, goes into the ground, the bacteria changes it, and it becomes nitrate, right? So nitrate that comes from your plants, then in your body, eventually gets changed into nitric oxide. Boy, I'm telling you, am I biased? Wow, this is actually science. This is science. This is how you get nitric oxide. So what kind of plants? Tumbuh-tumbuhan apa yang tinggi dalam nitrates? Right? Itu yang kita perlukan. We need nitric oxide to keep our blood pressures better, to make it smooth to flow. We need more nitrate. So more nitric oxide. What kind of foods? Okay. All right. The very high is celery, cress, chervil, beetroot, spinach. Oh, ini saya punya gambar agak blokir. Tolong kasih ke kanan. Sorry. Okay. Kale. These are very high. All right. And then high is celery, Chinese cabbage, endive, fennel, cabbage, dillip, broccoli. Low is broccoli, carrot, cauliflower, cucumber. Even very low is artichokes, asparagus. Yeah. So, oh shoot, I should have been able to go back. But anyway, I should be able to go back. Okay, here you go. All right. All right. Okay. Sorry. These are the food that you need to take, right? To keep your nitrate level high to get nitric oxide, all right? All right. Okay. All right. So, di dalam badan kita perlu, we need carbohydrates, we need sugars, right? Plus oxygen to get us the energy, right? To give us energy. We keep doing this over and over again, right? But as a side effect, a little bit of reactive oxygen species. You get some free radicals, and these free radicals, right? Is called reactive oxygen species, right? It turns into hydrogen peroxide. Now, hydrogen peroxide is actually not good in the body, right? It's used to actually kill bacteria. It's kind of oxidative stress. It's stress for killing germs, but it's also stress for our body, right? So is the reactive oxygen species, which is actually not that good also for us, all right? Okay, let me go. All right. Reactive oxygen species is inflammation. And the basis of high blood pressure is also inflammation. All right. Now it's proven that if you take in more sodium, you have more inflammation, right? If you take more potassium, then you have lower inflammation. Sodium causes lower nitric oxide. Sodium reduces your nitric acid, right? Potassium increases it. All right. All right. So how does it do this? Okay. I'm just going to summarize it. So here's nitric oxide, NO. When NO, nitric oxide, reacts with the reactive oxygen species, that's O2 right there, the red one, all right? It becomes hydrogen peroxide and OONO. That's another, the name of it is, I can't even remember it. It's nitric oxide, but it turns into a reactive oxygen nitrogen species. So what happens? Now your nitric oxide becomes lower. So when you have a lot of oxidative stress, your nitric oxide becomes lower because it actually pushes everything to become reactive oxygen species. You have lower nitric oxide in your body. All right. To put into a little bit more, right? This is your blood vessel. Up on the top is your the circulation. Inside is your cell, right? You have nitric oxide in your cell, all right? Now, what happens if you take sodium, right? Sodium comes in, it goes through a pore. When it goes into a pore right there, right? It causes this certain catalyst called NOx, NADPH oxidase. Anyway, it's called NOx, right? NOx makes your reactive oxygen species to increase. It makes more and more. It activates, makes you more pro-oxidants, right? More of these radicals, right? Now these radicals, because it changes to hydrogen peroxide, now causes your nitric oxide to go down, right? So when you take salt, your nitric oxide goes down, okay? That's the basic thing. Because your free radicals go up, right? Okay. Now what if you have dead cells? Dead cells is when you're fighting infection. Dead cells and when you eat meat. When you eat meat, okay? When you eat meat, suddenly your blood pressure goes lower. When you have an infection, your blood pressure goes lower. You vasodilate. Now the kidney says, oh no, this is not good. I got to increase the blood pressure, right? So it has, it releases TNF. It causes inflammation. This inflammation plus the hormones from the kidneys tells the body, okay, you know what? We need to increase the blood pressure, right? When you increase your blood pressure, increases reactive oxygen species, reduce your nitrate, right? So your blood pressure goes up. This is why when you have inflammation, your blood pressure goes down, your body wants to increase your blood pressure. If you have more inflammation, your body wants to increase your blood pressure. Inflammatory conditions, inflammatory foods increase your blood pressure, right? So it causes an increase of blood pressure, right? Inflammation causes increase in your blood pressure, right? Okay, and when you have an increase in your blood pressure, it starts causing damages to your kidneys, right? This is your kidney. Your kidney becomes damaged and it stops filtering, right? That's how you get your kidney disease. All right. You know, I think we should take a little small break, you know, before I continue. No, I'm not done with this yet, but I'm going to tell you what type of foods actually reduce your blood pressure. All right? Before I do that, can I ask the singing group, can they come back up? Oh, they already went. Oh, okay. All right. Before I go into what kind of foods will reduce your blood pressure? Yeah, obviously. Huh? Amen. Thank you. Oh, ada sekali. Puji Tuhan. Puji Tuhan. Thank you so much, Floyd. Itu tadi kita udah banyak sekali lewat science-nya ya. Jadi sekarang harus practical-nya sekarang. Alright. I have to get to the practical stuff because we need to know what we have to, we have to avoid that. Right? Because that is inflammatory. You know, when we eat a lot of the meat, is inflammatory and causes our blood pressure to go up. It's very obvious now. Right? And this type of food, which is high in nitrate, will increase amount of nitrate and increase our nitric oxide. Will lower our blood pressure. Right? Okay. And when potassium goes in, sodium goes out. That's also good. Right? That's what we need. Because potassium is high in di dalam tumbuh-tumbuhan. Tinggi dalam potassium. Right? Okay. All right. So sekarang they do randomized clinical trials, okay? Randomized clinical trials ini penting sekali, right? Karena mereka kasih yang random, right? Ada yang dikasih satu A di satu B, yang dikasihnya tidak tahu dapat apa, yang memberikannya sudah tidak tahu mereka berikan apa. Nanti setelah selesai trialnya baru dibuka. Oh, rupanya kamu ini dapat garlic, kamu ini dapat placebo. When they actually did garlic, right? It reduces your blood pressure. Berapa? 6.7 to 6 to 7, 7 and 5. Garlic reduces your blood pressure. Randomized clinical double-blind study. All right? Okay, I'm going to just do this quickly. All right? Ini kalau you do a chat GPT, so I said, mungkin saya bikin khotbah ini pakai chat GPT aja ya. Bagaimana saya bilang? Right? Tapi bahayanya kalau I don't use the references, okay? Di sini sudah bilang, Allison yang di dalam garlic itu bagus sekali dan dikasih tahu kenapa, karena dia merendahkan inflammation in your body. Alright? Itu penting sekali, ya. Ini banyak sekali dia punya fakta-fakta, saya harus lompat saja, right? Tapi hanya mau bilang bahwa all the references are here. Jadi saya bukan karang-karang ini ya. Semua referencesnya ada. Terus apalagi yang bagus? Oke, garlic bagus. Turun 7 sama 5. Alright. Bagaimana dengan beet? Beet tinggi dalam nitrate, oke? Beet. Alright. Free radicals tinggi dalam nitrate. Alright. Lalu beta cyaninnya itu polyphenol, semua itu high antioxidant. Tinggi dalam nitrate, high in antioxidant. Bagus sekali. Oke, saya hanya bikin cepat saja. Alright. Dan waktu mereka yang minum beet langsung ketahuan. The nitrate actually goes up in the body for sure. Right? So how much? Okay. This is actually very interesting. Mereka lihat bahwa kalau orang yang minum beet, dia punya performance increase by 3%. Yeah? Oh, big deal, 3%. Now, if you're a cyclist in an Olympic race, what's the difference between number 1 and number 2? Sedikit saja, cuma sedikit. So if you increase your endurance by 3%, that's a lot for cyclists, because that could be between you winning gold or you winning silver. 3%, and it's legal, right? So it is all cyclists now, they drink beets before they go cycle because they last longer. Their performance, because their blood vessels dilate more. They can move air a lot quicker. Their muscles are stronger. All right? Okay. All right. Yep. And then how much does your blood pressure go down? 134 to 127 and 71. So it goes down 7 and 2, right? It goes 7 2, your blood pressure, all right? 7 and 2, all right? 7 and 2, okay? Just remember that. The other thing is that when you take beet with grapefruit, what does grapefruit do? It has certain things, it affects your liver. It causes some drugs to last longer in your bloodstream. Like, for example, if you're taking blood thinners, it's probably not good to take grapefruit too, because it makes your blood thinners last too long in your body. But if you take nitrates and you take grapefruit, oh, you have more nitrates, right? Yeah. So if you take beetroot, right, it goes down 7 and 2. But what if you take beetroot plus grapefruit, right, with grapefruit? Additional 3 and 1. So you take that, it goes down 10 and 3. Ooh, not bad. Okay, 10 and 3. Okay. For those who have been listening to me, you know about this one, flax. Oh, flax is really good. Saya di gereja-gereja lain sudah kasih tentang flax. Flax is very good for so many things. Blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, cancer. Flax works on so many levels, but we're using this for blood pressure, all right? Okay, sekarang bilang placebo versus flax. This is randomized studies, all right? Placebo, your blood pressure is 158/82. But when you take flax, all right, it goes 15 and 7. That's amazing. Now, as a population, if everybody in this church, blood pressure goes down 15 and 7, if everybody goes down 15 and 7, you reduce your stroke risk as a church 46%. All right? Not individually, but everybody. And your risk of heart disease goes down 30%. This is flax, all right? Okay, let's compare that to ACE inhibitor. What's an ACE inhibitor? Lisinopril. Famous, right? Cheap. A lot of people take lisinopril, all right? How much does, on the average, how much does lisinopril reduce your blood pressure? That's lisinopril. 5 and 2. Which one would you rather take? What about calcium channel blocker? What's a famous calcium channel blocker? Amlodipine, right? What about amlodipine? Is amlodipine stronger than lisinopril? Okay, a little stronger. Is as good as flax? Oh, pretty amazing. Okay, here's another thing that you could actually do. I just had to read this. In summary, flaxseed induces one of the most potent antihypertensive effects ever achieved by a dietary intervention. The most potent, flax. I'm telling you, I cannot endorse flax any more than I'm doing. Flax is so good, right? Okay. Okay, another one. Hanya mau selesaikan dulu yang mana bagus nih? Yang bagus apa? Bunga kembang sepatu. Teh bunga kembang sepatu. How much does it reduce your blood pressure? 12 weeks. It goes down 11 and 10%. I don't know how much it's actually from 157 down to 140, right? 11% and 10%. All right? Okay. That's teh bunga ke-1. You can buy this anywhere, right? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So now they said, okay, is it true that vegetarians have lower blood pressures than non-vegetarians? Right? This is in non-Adventists, right? The strict vegetarians have blood pressure average 112 to 63. When you're lacto-ovo, maybe a little bit, but non-vegetarians 120, right? 120. So strict vegetarians have lower blood pressures than the non-vegetarians, right? What about among Adventists? Among us, Adventists, right? Let's see the numbers. Hypertension, but these numbers are kind of small here, right? The lacto-ovo vegetarians, 0.45. The vegans are 0.25. This is it's an Adventist cohorts, right? Eggs and dairy products, additional benefit. Compared to lacto-ovo vegetarian diets, vegan diets seem to provide more added protection against obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and cardiovascular. In Adventist, right, the vegans have lower blood pressure than the lacto-ovo vegetarians. Right? Hypertension, right? Okay. All right, here's an added bonus. It's not just what you eat, but when you eat it. Okay, when you eat it, right? Not just what you eat, but when you eat it, right? And this is, we're talking about, some people are already practicing it. Time-restricted eating, right? Now, who's somebody famous who ate twice a day? Who lived like 200 years ago and said in her books, Ellen G. White ate twice a day for 30 years towards the end of her life. And she promoted it even before now, which is the rage. We go to the internet and look at time-restricted eating. Everybody's talking about time-restricted eating, right? Ellen White wrote about it 200 years ago, right? So what do you do? What do you do? Instead of eating 3 times a day, you eat the same amount of calories in 3 times a day, but you eat it, they restricted it. They restricted, so they only eat it within 8 to 10 hours. So you're fasting between 16 hours or so, right? 12 to 16 hours, you're fasting. And when you're fasting at night also, you're burning the fat that you could have been storing. You're not saving it, because the food that you eat at night, what happens to the food that you eat at night that you're not using as calories? It gets changed to fat. And where does it accumulate? Right here. So if you do not eat at night, your body needs to continue living, right? Where is it going to get the energy? Now, because you're actually fasting, right? You use up all your carbohydrates. Now it started to use up the fat that is in your belly, right? The fat that is in your peripheral is not as important as this one in your, what we call visceral fat. Visceral fat is actually endocrinologically active. This fat inside here actually increases your blood pressure. So when you lose this fat in your belly, your blood pressure goes down. And one way of actually not reducing the amount of calories is reducing the time that you eat. So it's probably better for you to eat in the morning, right? And then eat about 6 hours later. And then you fast for the rest of the other 14 to 16 hours. Without changing the amount of calories you are, within a few months, your waist size will go down, I'm telling you. It will go down. You do not even change your amount of calories you're eating, but it actually reduces your waist size and it reduces your blood pressure. All right? This is amazing. Within 5 weeks, yeah, your systolic blood pressure, wow, it goes down. How much? 11 and, wow, 11, 10. That's amazing. You don't change your diet. You just eat it twice a day, earlier in the daytime, and your blood pressure goes down 11 points. Okay. All right. Okay. So, if you eat that type of diet with sodium, and you have to take lisinopril or calcium channel blocker, what if you get rid of the salt and get rid of the meat, right? Get rid of all of that. But you know what? Don't get rid of your blood pressure medicines yet, right? Do not get rid of your blood pressure medicines yet. Even though it said, you know what, I'm going to eat healthy. In a few weeks, it's going to be the new year. I'm going to take a resolution. I'm going to stop eating all this food that is going to make my blood pressure goes up, make me a diabetic, make my cholesterol go up. I'm going to take a new resolution. I'm going to stop all that type of food. I'm telling you, don't stop your blood pressure medicines at that time, all right? Your body's not used to it. Not, okay? All right. But then you start eating garlic. Then your blood pressure goes down 7 and 5. What if you add flax? It goes down 15 and 7. What if you also add hibiscus tea to that? It goes down 10%. What if you add beetroot to that? 7 and 2. And if you add grapefruit to that, how much more? Add another 3 and 1. And then you do intermittent fasting. It goes down. Your blood pressure will be too low. Then you can go to the doctor, and then now you can give the doctor the 3 angels message. Amen? Because we are called as Seventh-day Adventists to preach the 3 angels message to the world, right? And then what is the right arm of the 3rd angel's message? If you actually practice what you preach, because you witness this gospel that will go into the world, and then after that is when Jesus can come. It doesn't say you give a Bible study and then Jesus will come. No. It says you witness the gospel. How do you witness the gospel? You eat healthy, you become healthy, and then people look at you. Even the doctors will say, oh, I want some of that. All right? Wow. Okay. I think this is a lot of information already. I hope this was beneficial for you. This is, we did a lot of diabetes. We did high blood pressure. We did heart disease, right? And all that, the underlying problem is what? Inflammation. And to fight it, you have to eat a lot of antioxidants that come from plants. Because we have to claim from God that God will prevent us from getting these diseases. And then not only that, He will cure us from these diseases if we just follow His statutes and His commandments. Amen? Amen. Okay. All right. There's time for questions, but before I have before that, I'm going to ask questions. All right? Is it time for Sabbath?
Kami berikan sampai jam 5 ya, sampai 5 o'clock. Jadi kami akan buka pertanyaan sampai 5 o'clock dan tutup Sabat ya.
5 o'clock ya. Tutup Sabbath jam 5.
Jam 4:45 kalau nggak salah. 4:42 ya. Ya, jadi jam 5 kita bisa tutup. Jadi duluan dokter mau tanya untuk kita ini ya. Habis itu saya buka form untuk tanya jawab ya.
Tanya jawab sekarang. Oh, okay. There's other program you have to go to.
Ya.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Dokter ada satu pertanyaan jadi.
Okay. Akan saya jawab pertanyaan.
Pertanyaan saya dari yang kemarin ya mengenai cover mode. Saya sih nggak ada type diabetes, tapi saya punya sibling ada diabetes. Pertanyaannya, waktu kita makan change our diet untuk makan cover mode, apakah kita harus stop obatnya gitu, atau tunggu atau seperti yang tadi untuk turunin hypertension. Terus yang kedua, makanan-makanan yang tadi seperti beet, kalau kita di garlic itu raw atau memang dimasak atau gimana gitu cara makannya, dan mana yang lebih bagus, black garlic or raw garlic?
Wow, that's good questions. Okay. Jadi secara prinsipnya ya, when we change our diet, the changes does not happen in an instant. Beda dengan kalau kita minum obat. Obat itu kadang-kadang cepat, right? But when we change our diet, it changes slowly. So we cannot just suddenly just stop our medicines, right? You have to work with your doctors too, right? Just say, okay, maybe you can reduce some of your medicines afterward. But that is actually a very good opportunity to teach your doctors, right? Right. Actually, it's a very good opportunity because some of the doctors were not taught this stuff in medical school. I'm telling you, I went to medical school, right? Some of us were not taught this stuff. We had to learn this on our own, right? So if you can witness that to your friends, but do not stop your medicines. You have to slowly reduce it, with the help of the doctors. Now, the principle of how you can eat this, the less processed, the better. That's the principle. The less processed, the better, right? We can go into details, but the less processed is better, always. Just go back to the Eden diet, right? Less processed is always better. That's true, that's true. See, that's right. Sometimes it's better if you really you can't take it. You may have to take it with capsules. But those who can take it, some people can take it, some people can't. So the best thing is whatever you can take is probably the best, right? But the less processed is probably better, right? But whatever you take is better than not taking it, right? If it works better for you with a capsule, then by all means, you probably do need it in a capsule form. All right. Ada lagi?
Saya sudah beberapa bulan terakhir try to do intermittent fasting, and that's right. Memang I lost my belly fat. I eat only twice, but sometimes I still eat meat. When I think I should not eat meat, but also I eat garlic. My question is there any limited amount that how much we supposed to eat garlic? Because I love right now. I used to eat raw garlic, but it makes my body smell. So I remember I stopped eating garlic for a week, and doctor said, I still can smell garlic on you. So that means I don't like that, when I smell. So I've been taking black garlic. I love black garlic so much. Yeah, because I love black people. But is there ada limit nggak? Because I love it. I can eat 10 a day if I want to, But I'm scared, is it gonna ruin my liver, or what is it gonna do the black garlic? Because I heard black garlic is I don't know if that's true, but the strength of the garlic is 10 times better than raw garlic. But so far, I've been taking black garlic and also the cayenne pepper, in my food, So I'm usually that constipated, It's like I will go like every 3 to 4 days. But since I do that, and I did intermittent fasting plus the garlic and cayenne pepper, it's been working, I feel more healthier than before. But I just want to know, is there any, like, am I taking too much, 3 to 4? That's what I want to know. And then the second one, we talk about the high blood pressure earlier. How about the people who have low blood pressure? What is the solution button so their blood pressure can be like normal?
I see. Okay, wow, that's a lot of. Okay, terus terang saja ya. I'm not versed in all the dosages for garlic. I don't know, Stephen. You may know more, but I do not know. You may have to actually consult, some references that I actually don't have available, and I really haven't studied. So to tell you the truth, I do not know. That's a very good question. What was the other question? Low blood pressure. Wow. I think you really need to figure out why your blood pressure is low. There's multiple reasons: thyroid, endocrinological disorders. There's multiple other disorders, right? Probably not genetic. There has to be some sort of reason. You do need to actually, probably I would say, it needs to be investigated more, because there's got to be a reason. Because, all these diseases, it's really just high blood pressure and all the other effects. There's got to be other reasons for your low blood pressure. All right.
I have the microphone, so I have the right to speak first. Now I'll bring it to you. It just a question, though. So, like Namborunita mentioned about taking something about capsule. It is probably out of the thing is, but the capsule itself, you said do not stop if you have blood pressure medication. If they come in a capsule, the capsule itself that I learned it's made out of animal collagen, and some of them they're from pig, cows or pig. How we determine which is which if we have to take that?
Yeah, you're actually very right. There's actually some of them is actually from pig's collagen, and I make sure that's not what I'm going to take, right? There are some vegan options for capsules, but the underlying principle is this: when you take the vitamin or you take the active product away from the whole matrix, right? You take the whole. God created everything. There's polyphenols, there's vitamins, there's fiber. When you just take that vitamin, you're removing all the fiber. You're removing a lot of the polyphenols. You're removing all the good stuff that is associated with, all right? You cannot just take that one little active ingredient. Sometimes this doesn't work, and they proved this for sure. They say, okay, vitamin E is an antioxidant, all right? Okay, what if we take that vitamin E, from the plants or whatever, and we put it in a capsule, and then we give that vitamin E to heart patients, people with heart disease? Did it work? Absolutely not. Why? Because they took out all the things that actually was good. The fiber, the polyphenols, all the good things that was associated with that vitamin. So that vitamin cannot work in a vacuum, right? God created the whole plant. This is why when Moses threw a plant, it was the bush. It's the whole bush. This is actually a whole plant, right? It's not just taking, okay, I'm just going to take the juice out of that, right? Or, you know what, I'm just going to take the oil out of that. No, it's the whole plant, right? This is the underlying principle. You can see that in the Bible. It already says it's the whole plant that's going to heal you. So you have to take the whole thing. This is, everybody's situation might be different. But if you can, as much as possible, the whole plant is better, right? Okay, Stephen.
Yeah, on the subject of high blood pressure, I was just wondering, do you know if there's any correlation between a high blood pressure and, I don't know, maybe elevation?
Oh.
Because the reason why I'm asking this is because a lot of people that come to Eden Valley, a lot of times whenever after I check their vitals, they would get surprised seeing their high blood pressure so high. They're like, oh, maybe it's the elevation. It's like they're asking me about the elevation. What's the elevation here? So I'm just wondering if you know anything about that.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe the low oxygen tension is inflammatory. Maybe I don't know the correlation. I'm just really I'm grasping for straws here, not knowing.
The other I guess they're guessing us also. Oh, maybe it's just a white coat syndrome.
No, that's true. That's actually very true.
So that's just something I was wondering if you know any correlation between hypertension or
that's a good question. There's a lot of things that we don't know about hypertension. That's a lot of things. But what we know, the things that we know, maybe we can use it in our lives. There's so many things that can lower our blood pressure. And I know a lot of us have high blood pressure. And there's so many things. That's why I put it up there. That's for us to use, all right? But remember, you also have to stop eating food that is inflammatory, right? You have to eat the foods that will actually, help you to lower the blood pressure naturally.
Okay, last question.
Oh, yeah. That's actually true. That's very true. That's actually very true. Right. Okay. All right. This is actually very true. When you want to cook garlic, you cannot cook it raw. It has to be broken first, and then the active allicin will be. There's an enzyme that will actually break down. And when it's broken down, it will be broken down to allicin. And that's when that allicin actually works. So it actually works when you actually break the garlic. And the same thing with broccoli. When you eat broccoli, you have to actually crush it or you cut it. You let it sit for 15 minutes, then it'll be turned into sulforaphane, the active ingredient. Now, this is very interesting because how did Jesus save us? Jesus had to be broken down. He died on the cross a broken Savior to save us. That's the garlic and broccoli. It's so amazing. The gospel is right there, right? No, it's a raw. You have to break it, right? I guess you could, but it's still, even with garlic, if it's broken, the allicin is actually heat stable. Okay, the time, how's our time?
Dokter, terima kasih ya atas penjelasannya dari awal sampai sekarang. Saya cuma mau bertanya itu mengenai produk-produk yang di Amazon produk ya, garlic dalam bentuk kapsul, beef dalam bentuk kapsul, terus yang lain-lain yang bagus-bagus itu semua dalam bentuk kapsul begitu. Cuma saya mau tahu apakah memang itu betul-betul berasal dari aslinya begitu, atau ada buatan semacam chemistry atau apa begitu. Nah, itulah yang saya mau tahu bagaimana membedakan.
That's actually very good because so many of these supplements are actually falsely advertised. They said they have this amount when it actually doesn't have it. You have to be very, very careful. You have to know. There's certain products are actually sold that doesn't even have the correct amount. Even in Amazon, you have to be very careful. Some, I really, I'm not a consumer advocate for, companies or anything like that. But you have to be careful. Yeah, the companies that are have no reputation or nothing to lose, they just want to make money, and a lot of them don't sell the actual product. All right. You know what? I actually have what is promised, several books here. The first one, actually, I have to give to Pendeta. Pendeta, because of your leadership, you have actually invited us here so we can give you and the church we would like to give this book. Now, this book is How Not to Die. It is probably one of the best encyclopedias if you want to get it, right? I know some of you actually have this book. This book, you need to read it, right? It's no good just sitting on your bookshelf. You need to read it. If you have high blood pressure, read the part about high blood pressure. If you have cancer, read the part about cancer. If you have diabetes, read about the diabetes. This book is so good. A lot of my presentations come from that book, I'm telling you, okay? Okay. For the rest, I'm going to give you a quiz, all right? I got books here, all right? First I got a quiz. All right, let me get my, all right. Okay. Who was here last night? A few here last night, okay. Okay, here's the question, okay? All right, let me read it. If insulin resistance is caused by saturated fat that goes into your muscle cells and causes a reactive oxygen species, right? Insulin, right? You become diabetic because fat goes into your muscles, all right? What are two substances that will worsen your insulin resistance other than fat, saturated fat? Okay, all right. Brianna, you're a medical student, you can't answer this because otherwise you're gonna win everything. Okay, no, you have to get two. Sugar and protein, no? Who said iron and protein? Who said iron and protein? Okay, come and get your book. Kasih itu buku masak atau apa? We have one book here. This is really good cookbook. All right? Because some people say, oh, you know what? I want to become a vegetarian, but I don't know how to cook vegetarian. That book is very good. And the pictures are very nice. All right? Tony Okamoto. All right? That's a very good book. All right. Okay. All right, get ready. All right? Here's another question. Adventists are known to have 5 different types of food habits. That's why Adventists are used all the time as study subjects. All right? Okay, one is vegan, one is non-vegetarian, one is semi-vegetarian. What are the 2 others? Lift up. Okay, put your hands up and then answer. Don't shout it out. What are the 2 others? Oh, Pendeta, you already have your book. What are the 2 types of diets that Adventists have? Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, semi-vegetarian. What are the 2 other? Okay. Pescatarian and what? No? No. One is vegan, non-vegetarian, semi-vegetarian, and what's the other 2? Pesco and what? Lacto. Okay, who said that? Okay, Ami. Oh, Ami, you already have a book from before. Okay. Now there is a diet that used since 1903, called the oatmeal diet, that used in people who have been on insulin even for 8 years on insulin, right? And 50% of those, even on insulin for 8 years, they got off their insulin because they took oatmeal. All right? My question is, how many days did it take them to get off insulin? How many days? Who said 16? Okay, give him a book. Pastor, how not to die? How not to die? He's gonna eat oatmeal starting tomorrow, okay? Okay. All right. Here's another question. How many books we got left? 4 more. Okay. Heme iron works with saturated fat, is known to cause inflammation, right? Heme iron plus saturated fat. And that is the reason why people with diabetes develop kidney failure, heart disease, strokes. Where is heme iron found? No, you can't just say meat. Where? All right, muscle and? Okay, muscle and blood. Okay. That's a really good book. Okay, all right, all right. Blood and muscle. All right. Yes. Otot. Yeah. Okay, because muscle actually has myoglobin. Myoglobin has iron in it, right? It holds oxygen. Oxygen is the life of the being, that animal or the product, and the life is in the blood. That's why you can't eat blood, and the life is actually in the muscle, right? You know, that's all right. That's biblical, right? Okay, all right, all right. Another one. How many milligrams of sodium is in the RDA right now? And how much do you actually need in a day? And then how much is actually right now the recommended? 1,500 and? Okay, they give the man a book. How not to die. Okay. I'm going to tell you, you do not put that on the shelf. You need to read it, okay? And it's if you have a friend that has prostate cancer, look up prostate cancer in there, all right? Stephen, is that book good? You recommend that book? Oh man, you got to read it, man. Okay. 3 more. Okay. All right, this one is easy. If you drink beet as a juice, or you eat it as a supplement, what can you add to that beet that reduce your blood pressure more? Okay, Stephen got it. Beet, you got grapefruit. Okay. All right. Here's probably easy. I don't know if this is easy. All right. What verse in the Bible that God promised that He is going to prevent? What's the verse in the Bible? What's our Bible verse for this morning? Exodus what? Exodus what? 15 verse? 26. Okay. All right. You got one. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm out of books now. Oh, we have one more? Wow, I can't think of a question. All right. Anybody have a question? Okay, give him a book. My brother, that's my brother from another mother right there.
Floyd.
Floyd, he's related to me, so give him a book. Oh, absolutely, yes. Stress.
That's my question. Copy.
Diastolic. Yeah. Yeah. It's more with your amount of exercise you do. And it actually has something to do with, obviously you need rest, but also you need to have exercise. You cannot lower your blood pressure enough if you do not exercise. And we're not just talking about walking in the mall. That's not exercise, right? It has to be an exercise that will cause you to sweat at least 40 hours, 40 minutes, right? Each time you do it, at least 3 times a week. You want to reduce your blood pressure, right? Yeah, and it helps you even more for your diastolic blood pressure. All right, right? Yeah, it is tough. Blood pressure is tough. If I were to ask you, which one is easier to reduce, your blood sugar or your blood pressure? Blood sugar. There is no reason why any of God's people should have diabetes. There's no reason. There's no reason. Because I actually asked one of the medical missionaries a long time ago when I talked to one of these guys, and he's doing medical missionary, he said, it's so much easier to get rid of your diabetes than blood pressure. Blood pressure is so much more because it's so much more multifactorial. So many other things. And his word to me, he says, brother, there is no reason why any of God's people should have diabetes. I was like, whoa, that is tough. Mm-hmm. 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 Sure. There's so many, it's so multifactorial, so many different factors, right? Stress, pain, you name it. There's so many things that can cause it. But I've actually put up there so many different things that you probably didn't even know before that you can add to your diet that it can improve your blood pressure. That's actually true. You have a witness there, All right? All right.
Baik, terima kasih dokter. Terima kasih banyak atas penjelasan. Jadi harapan kami dari kami semua ketua-ketua supaya kita belajar untuk sehat. Cuma pertanyaan saya tadi, dokter yang kos itu makanan semua. Saya bertanya kepada ambon-ambon di belakang itu, seringkali bukan cuma makanan yang bikin darah tinggi, istri-istri juga yang bikin darah tinggi. Jadi sudah makan sama sehat, tapi mereka kadang-kadang bikin darah tinggi dari 0 sampai di atas. Baik, saudara saya mengundang kita berdiri semua. Oke,
Terima kasih. Siapa yang merasa terberkati sepanjang Sabat hari ini? Angkat tangan dong. Ya. Dan juga hari Sabat Jumat malam. Saya juga tadi dibisikkan pendeta perabat kalau boleh ada bahan-bahannya di kopi. Jadi nanti kita akan kontak sama istri Dr. Tauran untuk bahan-bahannya sangat perlu sekali katanya. Boleh kan?
Ya, bisa.
Jadi, bagus sekali.
Tuhan sudah bilang, what you receive for free, you give for free. Amen? Amen. That's true.
Jadi kita mau belajar berulang-ulang. Siapa tahu masih belum pikun. Jadi saudara-saudara kasih dalam Tuhan, kami ucap syukur terima kasih atas sahabat yang indah ini, atas kedatangan tamu kami Dr. Tauran dengan istri. Kami dari membawa departemen kesehatan di sejak tahun 2026 ini, 2005-2006. Kebetulan direkturnya lagi sakit satu keluarga. Tinggal 1 jam setengah datang di Poldo. Jadi kami hanya gereja kami gereja kecil, tapi hanya kasih dari lubuk hati yang dalam untuk sebuah bingkisan yang sederhana dari gereja kami. Mohon diterima dengan hormat oleh keluarga Tauran dengan ibu ya. Ya ini.
Waduh, terima kasih, terima kasih.
Terima kasih ya. Ini juga classmate saya juga di Unai dulu. Ya. Makasih Ibu Jacqueline atas lagu yang suaranya merdu ya. Ya, terima kasih.
Thank you.
Terima
kasih
kasih keluarga Tauran dengan anak-anak dan cucu-cucunya belum ada ya.
Belum ada cucu.
Kita tunggu, kita doakan ya. Kami serahkan kepada elder dalam agama.
baik, saya undang kita berdiri semua, kita akan menyanyi Matahari Terbenam. Satu ayat saja dan saya minta pendeta kita untuk
kita semua itu bisa taruh di USB-nya dia nggak? Itunya, yang itu yang
ya, nanti saya bikin ya.
Tibalah sunyi malam, mari puji dan sembah Tuhan Allah semesta. Puji Allah, suci, 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 Allah, segenap alam saksikan, segenap alam pujikan, Allah. Pastor.
Mari kita berdoa. Bapa di surga, kami mengucapkan syukur dan terima kasih oleh karena pelajaran yang berharga yang kami dapatkan melalui hamba-Mu Dr. Tauran, baik Alkitab maupun ilmu pengetahuan. Yang saya percaya berasal dari Tuhan. Bapa di surga, kami sudah mendengarkan banyak petunjuk yang membangkitkan semangat kami, menolong kami untuk membuat keputusan. Tapi kami sadar Tuhan, tanpa pertolongan Roh Kudus, kami tak dapat ikut. Oleh sebabnya isilah hati kami dengan Roh Kudus. Biarlah semua pelajaran yang kami dengar tidak berlalu begitu saja, bertumbuh berbuah dan nyata dalam kehidupan kami, baik secara pribadi dan keluarga, terlebih juga secara pribadi. Kami tahu Tuhan, Kau mau kami hidup sehat, dan kami dapat melayani lebih lama lagi. Dan bila mana Tuhan kendaki, kami boleh masuk di dalam kelompok yang hidup-hidup pada waktu kami sedang kami. Dasar Tuhan tolong bantu kami untuk tetap setia. Berkati akan Dr. Tauran dan juga Ibu Vicky akan mengadakan perjalanan pulang pada hari Selasa yang akan datang, dan juga baru hari gunakan waktu dengan saudara-saudara kami di sini. Biar malaikat Tuhan selalu menyertai kita. Dan biarlah mana Tuhan kehendaki, biarlah kami bertemu lagi untuk waktu yang akan datang. Biar kami boleh belajar lagi tentang kasih. Bapa, ampuni dosa kami, berkati kami dengan berkat kehidupan si anak-anak di dalam nama Yesus.
Baik, terima kasih. Kita akan, saudara-saudara punya waktu, kita langsung menuju ke keluarga Janet Limbong punya rumah jam 5.